Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a magnetic excursion update Tuesday, August 27th, around 9:30 p.m. Mountain Time, 2024. We've got some new data on the Cascadia subduction zone and historic earthquake records there. I think you'll be very interested to hear what a new paper is telling us. Also, unexpected rainfall event starts in the Sahara Desert. Huge amounts of rain, 500% of the normal monthly rainfall is going to hit the Sahara in August and September. Thanks, Hunga Tonga. Keep calm. It's boom time. Corn sweat is worsening Midwest heat wave. Here's what you need to know. First of all, do you even know what corn sweat is? A heat dome bringing high temperatures to much of the Midwest this week, and they're being worsened by humidity that is, at least in part, caused by moisture being released from mature crops, called corn sweat. Here are the key facts. Much of the Midwest is under heat alerts, including Iowa, all of which is under an excessive heat warning, according to the National Weather Service, due to heat index values between 105 and 115. The eastern half of Kansas, southeast portions of Nebraska, northern Missouri, western Ohio, central Kentucky, and most of Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, say it ain't soda, and even Michigan are also under either excessive heat warnings or heat advisories. Des Moines, Iowa, near the epicenter of the heat wave, Monday hit 99 degrees in the afternoon with a heat index of 111 because of the humidity. St. Louis also reached 99 and topped out with a heat index of 104 thanks to the corn sweat. The elevated heat indexes are being driven by high humidity, partially due to corn, soybeans, and other crops letting out moisture because of heat, similar to the way humans sweat in high heat, according to Scientific American. Corn sweat can result in some of our higher moisture values of the year, according to the Chicago-based National Weather Service. So now you know that the corn sweats. Here's the hail map from Monday, August 26, 21,000 impacted by hail, 1 inch or larger, 3 impacted by gorilla hail. And most of that fell in Nebraska. How do you like them apples? The Old Farmer's Almanac has its 2024-25 forecast map out, and it's showing mildly snowy, cold and snowy, mildly dry, mildly snowy, cold and snowy, mildly and snowy. A lot of mild, snowy days for the central U.S. And all this probably care to La Nina. Yeah, La Nina is going to be strengthening over the next few months. Here is the forecast. We are currently in August. We've now dropped to neutral and almost at the threshold right now of La Nina. And all of the models are showing La Nina will peak in December. How deep will it go is anyone's guess. We will remain in La Nina probably through spring. Dang, dang. And that means heavy snow for some areas that get heavy snow during La Ninas. And let's talk about this summer heat wave. It's not going to be really unprecedented because back in the 1930s, there were days when almost every state in the U.S. was above 100, and most of our heat waves, only a few states reach 100. Here we're going to see 1, 2, 3 states in 100 here, and maybe 3 or 4 states in 100 in the coming days. This is the outlook for my birthday, August 28th, and you can see it's going to be 100 in Tennessee, West Virginia, and maybe Alabama and Mississippi. It's always 100 degrees in Southern Cali and Arizona this time, as well as Nevada, so that's not unique. Pretty interesting heat wave, but not record-breaking unless it might be a daily record. Here's the full forecast. Dangerous heat across the Midwest, Mid-Atlantic, and Southeast. Severe weather in the Mid-Atlantic and the Northern Plains. Dangerous heat and humidity will continue for much of the Midwest and peak in the Mid-Atlantic, including the National Capital Region. couldn't happen to a better group of folks. On Wednesday and the southeast on Thursday, severe thunderstorms and locally heavy rains are expected from parts of Ohio to the northern mid-Atlantic coast and parts of North and South Dakota. Click on your county for more info over at weather.gov. Here is the thermodynamics for the next few days so we can just see what that heat looks like. This is the heat on my birthday. Not much record breaking. It looks like Arkansas could hit 100 as well as Louisiana. But the rest of the country in the east here is just in the 90s, which is normal for late August. We'll move it through to the 29th, and here we can see 100 potentially hitting Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and that's about it on this map, the desert Southwest, obviously. Move it through to the 30th, and we can see that 100-degree mark may move up into Indiana and Ohio, while Pennsylvania is 40 degrees cooler in the middle of the afternoon. So there is an extreme cold spell for the entire Northeast, while the rest of the South is sweltering. Take a look at the high of 74 in Maine, high of 64 in the Catskill regions. That is insane. And the heat basically comes to an end by the end of August, Saturday, August 31st. It's going to moderate into the upper 90s for some areas here, but cool over the northern tier and the rest of the country as we move into September and the heat shifts to the west. Take a look at this. 100 degrees from Washington State all the way down through Baja. Ha. Now let's talk about the unexpected rainfall now being forecast for the Sahara Desert. A unique rainfall event is about to unfold across the Sahara Desert, otherwise known as the driest place on Earth. The amount of rainfall might not seem large by normal standards, but a large part of the Sahara will get well over 500% of normal monthly rain in August and September. A September to remember. It's not very often that the Sahara Desert experiences these rainfall events. They're very rare. Less than one per decade on average, but they are usually a sign that something is perhaps changing in Earth's weather system, indicating an unusual state of the atmosphere thanks to, well, none other than Hunga Tonga. Hunga Tonga has increased atmospheric moisture by up to 13%, and that will be coming down in the form of rain through Central Africa over the next 5 weeks. Seismic update. Most recent quake happening in Frackville, Oklahoma. A frack quake. Overall, low-level activity worldwide. As we take a look at a new paper coming out, an algorithm raises new questions about the Cascadia earthquake record. Here you can see a figure comparing the results of turbidite correlations, which didn't work out so well. So what they're suggesting is these turbidites may not represent Cascadia earthquakes of the 9 magnitude. They may represent something else. Now, the reason they're saying this is so that you don't get alarmed or panic. There are millions of people that at some point in the future are all going to either die, be washed away, or their homes destroyed forever, and there will be no rebuilding. And so if you tell people in that region that one of these 9 magnitude quakes is inevitable, many of them will move out of the region and start to leave. And they don't want that. So what this paper shows is that it's not, these Cascadia ruptures don't happen every 300 years. They may happen every 500 years. So we have nothing to worry about for a few hundred years or more. The only problem is an 8.5 rupture is much more frequent than a 9 magnitude. And that is definitely going to be happening before or sooner than a 9. And that will still be catastrophic, potentially a deadly tsunami wiping out millions of people and homes in the future. So hedge your bets, and I'd get out of that area. Worldwide volcano news. Latest measurements confirm the ongoing eruption on the Reykjanes Peninsula is the largest since 2023. Yeah, the biggest in the last 7 eruptions is happening now. Holy cow. As we approach the 6th day on the Reykjanes Peninsula at Svartsengi, volcano here, we can see the lava activity has consolidated to one major opening from the original fissure. Probably will split into two small cinder cones, but the heat and the amount of lava spraying up here is preventing that from happening. But a small volcanic ridge is building on both sides as the lava fountaining cools outside of the melt zone. We're approaching the 6th day at the Schwarzwängi eruption, and this one should go on for a few more days, weeks, or even a month. And let's get on with the Worldwide Volcano News Update. Take a look. White Island in New Zealand, minor eruptive activity persisting there. I would stay far away from that island. Sabancaya to 24,000 feet. Schwarzwängi. New satellite imagery shows the glowing lava rivers. White Island puffing to 3,000 foot today. Ibu to 17,000 foot. Liwatobi to 8. Samaru to 14,000. Sabakaya, 24,000 foot puff. Liwatobi to 9. Fuego puffing and passing. White Island erupting continuous with low level activity today. 14,000 foot at Samaru. Who knew? Now you do. Sabancaya puff emissions to 25,000. Schwarzwängi, a new series of satellite imagery on the effusive eruption has been processed, and click the link to read all. We also have Raventador to 15,000 feet, Ibu to 14,000 feet, Sangay to 20,000 feet, Liwatobi to 9,000 feet, Nevado de Ruiz, 23,000 foot puff, wrapping up Worldwide Volcano News for the 27th into my birthday, the 28th. And let's move over to space weather and take a look at the sun. Nothing is happening. Low-level activity with tons of sunspots facing us. Nothing is occurring, and that means low KP and no aurora in the near future. Very quiet solar max. Archaeologists uncover ghost population of previously unknown human ancestors. This is happening every few months. More and more DNA evidence showing that we don't know nothing about our hominid ancestors. Even in the recent past. You think this might be 100 or 150,000 years ago, some of these African DNA? No. This paper is talking about recent skeletons dug up in Cameroon recently from individuals 3 to 8,000 years old that contain DNA from people that are not currently living there. How do you like them apples? Our knowledge of ancient human population structures in the sub-Saharan Africa, particularly prior to the advent of food production, remains limited. In this paper, they report genome-wide DNA data from 4 children, 2 of whom were buried approximately 8,000 years ago and 2, 3,000 years ago, from Shamlaka in Cameroon, one of the earliest known archaeological sites with the probable homeland of the Bantu language group. The only problem is when they did DNA analysis, they found that these hominids were not related to the Bantu language group people. A completely different group of hominids was living in Africa just 3,000 years ago. Who are these people? And why do we always say out of Africa? When we were uncovering hominids in Europe 150,000 years ago and other places hundreds of thousands of years earlier. Leave a comment below if you have an answer. I've got answers for you. If you're worried about your preparedness and the upcoming election or World War III or a solar flare or anything that may take the grid out for an extended period of time, you know you need to be growing your own food and maybe have some preps, as well as security in the form of weapons. But if you take life-saving medication, your doctor will be unavailable. And the way to hedge your bets on that is to personalize an emergency case from Jace. You can have life-saving medication on hand, and it should never be an afterthought. Life-saving medication, antibiotics, insulin, and anything you may need to survive without a doctor being available, you can put in your Jace case. Any add-on you can think, including ivermectin and albuterol. Get the Jace case. You could put up to 8 prescriptions in one case or 8 months of a single prescription supply, a year's supply of your diabetes medication to give you peace of mind, all packaged in a light-proof case, which you can take anywhere, stash in your glove box, and, well, survive and thrive in the event of a problem. Use our coupon code for an additional 10% off and support the channel as well as your preparedness. And that's a boom to knowledge. Please share the video. We've been shadow banned for 3 years, and it's almost impossible to get new subscribers without your help. If you share this video, it will get in front of people that are not subscribed to the channel. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do. Watch all of our podcasts in one place, commercial-free, for as little as $1 a month. And be safe. We love you. And that is a boom. Crestone Energy Fair is coming up in just a few weeks. We hope to see you all there with Alien Alan and friends. Tomorrow is my birthday. We've rented a boat. We're going to go out on a high alpine reservoir called Vallecito and try to catch some big trout. Hopefully, I'll get some footage of us catching said big trout. And we may be a little late, and I may not have an update tomorrow night, but I'll be sure to post some of the fun festivities for my birthday on the channel. So go check them out. We love you. Be safe. And that's a boom. Happy birthday to me.